everyone. I hope you and your family is safe and happy. I am Dr. Rashmi. Welcome to Fitter Body Leads to Fitter Mind and Happy You. The phase of grief is depression. So now the person has gone through denial, anger, and he's also bargained with the condition, whatever he's going through. And when he loses the hope of bargaining with the system, or with the condition that he is going through, or the news that he has to deal with, then the person loses the hope and moves on to the phase of depression. So here he starts seeing death because he's so depressed, and he no more has that hope that yes, I can bargain or negotiate and overcome this current situation. Each individual may respond differently during the phase of depression. So sometimes the person may be, very silent, and he may refuse to meet visitors and spend much of his time being mournful. He starts experiencing the pain of death before he even sees it. So that is when the person is going through the phase of depression. In the fourth phase of grief, a person is already, feeling low due to the condition that is not controlled by the person. Okay, and here the person is feeling low due to things which are not expected. So here the mindset of the person would be, I am so sad. Why bother with doing anything? Anyway, I'm going to die. I'm going to die soon. So why make any effort to be happy or, fighting about the disease or any news that you have heard? If a person has lost a loved one, then he might feel like, I miss them so much. What is the point in me being alive? So it is always better, let me go. You can also feel like, I can no longer fight these. So why waste my energy? So, and sometimes you may also feel, my presence is not making any sense to anybody else around me. So because you have lost the hope, these are the questions that keep cropping up in your mind. The fifth phase of grief is acceptance. So when a person is denied the news that he's heard, and he's tried to get angry and frustrated, and he's tried to bargain with the situation, and he has tried to go through depression and tried to handle it by being sad. And in the fifth stage, the person will understand the only way out of this grief is to accept it. In this stage, the person embraces that mortality, or inevitable future, or that of a loss of a loved one, or other tragic events as it is. Come to the phase of acceptance, you need to have a stable emotion. I can no longer treat corona, but I can learn to live with it. So by being little cautious and by taking all the precautions, you can avoid getting infected. But that doesn't mean that, now that corona is there, that doesn't mean that I'm going to die. It means that I can live with it. First, for that to happen, you have to accept that you can live with corona. So you have to develop that system which will let you be living with the condition that you have gone through, or the tragedy that you have faced, or a disease that you are facing. So here what happens, you will accept the situation as is, and you will try to live with the condition. So that way you need not lose your life, you need not get angry, but over a period of time you can get over the grief. Here you can follow statements to yourself, it's going to be okay. Yes, I am going through this grief, and I understand that. The earlier you accept that you are going through the grief and it is a fact and there is no way out of that grief without taking it as a part of you, then you will understand, yes, I can fight it and I may as well prepare for it rather than denying the grief. These are 5 phases of grief that each one of us go through when we undergo tragic events in our life or when any unexpected things that happen to you in your life. You have understood the 5 phases of grief. The longer you stay in each phase, your grief duration also increases. A wise person will always move from one phase to another faster by understanding and retrospecting the situation and what best he can possibly do with the current situation that he is living. So let's say if the person moves from a denial mode to the acceptance phase faster, then your grief duration is less. If you are stuck for longer in a different phases, then over a period you can become mentally ill as well and you can emotionally be very low. So when I say how to avoid being in each phase for longer is developing positive attitude and understanding the situation and developing a system to come out of these situations that you are going through would only help you to move through each phases faster. And developing an attitude of gratitude and believing in yourself that you are capable of coming out of whatever trauma that you have gone through or whatever unexpected losses that you had in your life. So these are a few tips to moving from each phase of grief and reduce the duration of. So now that you have understood how 5 phases of grief each one of us go through to fight any unexpected event or loss of a loved one or any natural disasters. So, but there are certain limitations for Kubler-Ross model. So here we don't have a control on different stages duration. So each person can take different time window to pass through. So the stronger willed you are, you pass through each phase quicker. And there is a blurred line between one stage to another stage. So a certain people may jump from phase 1, that is denial, to directly acceptance level. That doesn't mean that it is something wrong with the person. No, it is each one's ability and emotional condition and their own fighting skills for their unexpected things is what is going to help. 5 stages we have not discussed about the external support one can get. So we are limiting these phases to the person who is going through the grief. The better environment the person is in, with being surrounded by loved ones and being with the family and having a bonding and close-knit family will help a person come out of these stages faster. So these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind. It's okay to feel the grief at different stages of your life. I want to leave you with a quote. Grief is the last act of love we can give it to those we loved. Where there is a deep grief, there was great love. So it is okay to not feel okay. So accept that and move on with your life. Thank you for listening. Keep smiling. Take care of yourself.